Exercise 707 requires us to define a class time. So we are going to have, as is usual now, a file, let's call it E707, which is going to allow us to test that class time, and a file time.java, which is going to define the class time itself. So let's start by the definition of the class. If I read the exercise, you can see we need three data fields: hour, minute, and second. So private, int hour, private, int minute, private, int second. Okay, so that takes care of the first part. The second part is we need a no argument constructor, which is going to create a time object for the current time. The data field's value will represent the current time. So in other terms, we need a constructor which is going to populate those attributes hour, minute, second with value corresponding to the current time, as we can get it with system.currentTimeMilli. This is what is specified here in the hint associated to that exercise. Well, let's read a little further because I see I need another constructor. I need another constructor that's going to construct a time object with a specified elapsed time since the middle night, January 1, 1970, in milliseconds. So this would be typically what system.currentTime millisecond returned to us. Okay, so we have, let's write first the outline of the two constructor. The first one, public time. Okay, refer back to the rules for naming a constructor. The second one, public time, and this time I take a long elapsed time. Okay, so the key here is to try to stop and to figure out what you are writing. This constructor here is capable to populate those three fields based on the elapsed time. This constructor, I'm going to add a D here. This constructor here will just take the currently elapsed time and populate those fields. So what is the difference between the two? Well, this one is going to call at some point. I'm going to define a long temporary variable here. It's going to call at some point system.currentTimeMilli to get the number of seconds since midnight, January 1st, 1970. And then what? We are going to populate those fields. This guy, on the other hand, will receive this information through the parameter and then populate the field. So clearly here, what I can do is I can call the constructor with parameter and pass to it the value of TMP to get the same job done and avoid writing twice the same code. How do I do this? I use the keyword this. The keyword this will allow me to say I am calling the constructor on my current object. I'm calling a different constructor from this one. This one is a constructor without parameter. Well, I'm calling now the constructor which takes one parameter, okay, of type long. This is going to be it. So here I can focus on the job of populating hour, minute, and second with values according to the parameter elapsed time. So let's do that. This is something that we already did, okay, a while ago. So in a previous module, I'm going to just work through it with you, but I'm not going to go into many detail. You can refer back to the previous exercise we did with that theme to remind yourself of how you compute the time. The first step is to get a translation of the elapsed time in milliseconds into seconds, okay? Then we compute the number of seconds by converting to int the result of total seconds modulo 60. Okay, so here I'm talking about the attribute second. So this is the first one to be populated. Then we need another temporary variable, total minutes, which is going to be equal to total seconds divided by 60. And we keep doing the same type of job. Minute is, the value of the current minute is int total minutes modulo 60. And then we take care of the hours. Long, actually I could use an int at this point. Int total hours equal int total minutes divided by 60. So I use the property of the integer division, and then the value of my, let me see, yes, the value of my current hour is going to be hour equal int total hours modulo 24. So we have done that already, and more complicated actually computation on this theme already in previous exercise. I'm saving, and I'm going to just stop briefly here to make sure everything is compiling. Okay, Java C E707.java and time.java. Okay, line 19, a closing parenthesis is expected. You look here, yes indeed, we're missing a closing parenthesis corresponding to this guy here. Fortunately, we don't need this guy, so we can just remove it. Let me go back to the time.java. Uh, okay, and I just forgot which line number it was. There we go, here. Okay, this is a typo, cut and paste. Let's go back here. I remove this parenthesis, we should be fine. Save. Go back to the Conqueror window. And we have the same problem here, line 19, twice the same problem pretty much due to the same parenthesis, extra parenthesis. Line 19 again, type conversion gone wrong. There we go. Easy to fix. So actually I misinterpreted the previous message. It was this parenthesis that was missing actually. Let's save. Go back to Conqueror. Compile again. Call to this must be the first statement in constructor. Okay, this one is interesting actually. Let's go back to time.java line 9. Here's what is happening. In this case here, we are calling another constructor to do the job that this constructor cannot do by itself. There is a hardcore rule in Java which specifies that if you want to do so, you need to do it as the first statement of your method, of your constructor. Unfortunately, in our case, we cannot do that because we are trying to define the variable TMP afterwards. Solution is just to call directly system current times milli and pass the result of that directly to the constructor, which expects one parameter. Let's try to see if this works. Java C. It passed. Different error, line 20. Variable total hours is misspelled. There is an uppercase H missing somewhere. So we go here. We fix that little typo. Back to Conqueror. Compile again. Alright, now that it's compiling, we can go ahead and do Java E707. We're trying to run our application. Of course, not much is going to happen because my main is not doing anything. So, at this point, all I can do in the main is create objects. Okay, create object as a class time, which I just defined. We are going to do just this. Time t, variable t of type reference to an object of class time, and I assign to it immediately a new time. So this is going to be the current time. Save, compile. Still not going to do anything on the screen, but at least I can make sure that I didn't introduce any problem by doing so. What's next? Well, what's next is, according to the description of the exercise, the definition of get methods, 3 of them, which can each return pretty much hour, minute, and second values respectively. So this should be an easy job. Public, what is the type of those fields? Int, get hour, no parameter, return the value inside of the attribute hour. Public, int, get minute. Uppercase letter here, get minute. Yes, that I got confused there. Get minute is going to return the minute. And then finally, the last one would be get seconds. Public int get second. There we go. Return second. Save this file. And now what? Well, I can compile first to make sure I didn't introduce any syntactical error. It's not the case. I need to use them. I need to use them from the main of my application. Well, I can easily do that. System.out.println. And I can say, I can display pretty much the time, the current time, by doing t.getHour. I concatenate to the return value of this call to the method getHour on the object reference to by variable t, a colon. a string containing a colon, a single colon. Then I'm going to say t.get minute, concatenate that to a string, concatenate this to a string containing only a colon, and finally call t get second. And I will have here a test to make sure that I'm capable to get the current time. And once I have the current time, that I'm capable to display it, and it has been correctly translated in terms of hours, minutes, and seconds. Once again, compile. Let's try to run it. I run date. I'm 5 hours behind. Yes, because we are Eastern time. This is the system time in GMT. So pretty much we are done with this exercise. Let me put back up the code of time.java, and this is it.